Okay, shalom. It is snowing outside. My wife is gone. I'm here at the house. I've been doing Bible study, sermon prep all morning, and my mind is about to explode, but I have a section I'm not going to put in a sermon, and so I thought, well, I'll make a video about it, and it's in John chapter 1. Let me preface this statement with, how do I say this? There are some people who believe that if you have Jewish ancestry or Israelite ancestry, the Hebrew word for Israelite is Israeli, that this somehow makes you superior as an individual, or more savable or something like that. And this comes from different directions. I mean, we have evangelical people that teach this about modern day Jewry in the Middle East, in what's termed the land of Israel now. Then we have some people in one facet or branch of Christianity that teach, no, those people are not real Israelites. It's a different group of people, the Caucasian people, and then we have people that are the black Hebrew Israelites that teach it for them. But regardless, whatever branch it comes from, it's false doctrine, and it's not biblical, because salvation is not dependent upon your genealogy or the color of your skin or your last name. Salvation is dependent upon whether or not you place your faith in the gospel promise that Yahweh the preacher, that Yahweh has preached to us and spoken to us in His holy word. Now, Yahweh sent His Son to save us from our sins. And I want to show you this in John 1, and I'm going to try not to make this video too long, but in John 1, verses 11 through 13, it's a reference to Yeshua, the Word of Yahweh, made flesh. Okay, John 1:11 says, He came to His own, and His own people did not receive Him. He came unto His own, and His own received Him not. King James Version is how I learned it growing up. Okay, His own people were Judah, the people of Judah, who were the people of Israel. He came to them. That's the ones He came to. He brought this message to Judah, and they did not receive Him. Verse 12, but to all who did receive Him, so this shows us that verse 11 is not across the board. Verse 12 says there were some that did receive Him, and it says, but to all who did receive Him, accept Him for who He was, the Messiah, the Son of Yahweh, the one sent by the Father, the Word of Yahweh made flesh. To those who received Him, He gave them the right to be called the sons of Elohim, or the children of God, in the English Bible says, to those who believe in His name. Notice, the only people who have the right to be called the sons of Elohim are those who received the Son of Elohim. Any Jew, Israelite, somebody with impeccable genealogy, it doesn't matter, anybody like that does not receive Yahweh's salvation does not have the right to be called a child of the Almighty. If you reject the one that Yahweh sent, you reject Yahweh, and thus you're not a child of Yahweh. Then in verse 13 it says, who were born. Notice there's a term of birth, of generation. Who were born, then there's three negatives, not of blood. And we got people worried about, well, are you of this blood, or are you of that blood? Well, these children that believed in the name of Yeshua, they were born, but it was not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of Elohim. So there's three negatives. They were not born this way. They were born of Elohim. That is a spiritual birth, brothers and sisters. Spiritual birth is the birth that matters. Do you have faith in the promise of Yahweh? If you're a child of Yahweh, a true child of Yahweh, He birthed you, but it was not of blood, nor the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man. Now, I'm not going to be putting this in my sermon, so I thought, let me put it in a video. Read it. John 1:11 through 13. Salvation is not about genetics. Salvation is not about lineage. Salvation is about, do you receive the salvation of Yahweh? Do you place your faith in His gospel promise, in His Son that He sent to you? If you receive His Son, you have the right to be called a child of Yahweh. If you do not receive Yahweh's salvation, you do not have the right. You do not fall up under the category of being called a child of Yahweh. That's my thought for today. Be blessed. Yahweh bless you. Shalom.